Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Not a game. We talking about practice.
We thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Inside a different league, I'm coming. I'm flat out coming.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
Oh yes. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan, and I got a cast of thousands with me tonight. Let me go ahead and bring everybody on first. Here's my co-host, and he has forgotten more baseball than I will ever know. Let me bring my man 7 and 7. What's up?
I need you to know that whatever happens in the next hour and a half that we're together, I am not apologizing for a single thing that I'm about to say.
Oh, shit.
I am now 24 hours cigarette and vape free.
There you go.
And I hate it. So I'm going to make it everybody else's problem. Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Let me go on ahead and moving on to my next person. He's also with me on Saturday nights on our sister show, the Geek Gauntlet Podcast. Bring my man Ando on. Ando, what's up?
What is up, boys? How we doing tonight?
Chilling, man. Chill.
I just got to say this about you Laker fans who are, crying out for the Lakers. Mountain Dew, Bret Hart got screwed. John Cena said to the kids, "Fuck you." Lakers are out in 5 at the moment, man, with the way that they're playing. They're playing horribly, man.
Lost to the Bulls.
They lost to the Magic. They lost to the Magic today.
Geek, what's up, man? How you doing tonight? Good to have you in stream. Bulls dominated that game.
Oh my God, 146? 140. Where has that been all freaking season, Chicago?
They dominated that game in so many ways.
Many ways.
All right, let me go ahead and bring my future wife. No more Muhammad have to pay a ton of child support too.
But it'll be worth it.
It'd be worth it. Let me bring my girl Erica on. Erica, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. There's a lot to talk about in sports, man. There's a lot tonight.
Oh yeah, you got a lot to talk. Who the hell you waving at?
I'm waving at Erica.
Oh.
Hey, Seven.
That just looked completely wrong.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's like the Brady Bunch. We could do the Brady Bunch thing. Just
I don't want to look up at Seven's beard though.
No.
Respect the beard.
I mean,
that's why, man.
You know what? I was never really into the Brady Bunch. I really wasn't.
Hey, but you know what, Will? This works out great for you because I'm underneath you. So
yeah, baby, yeah.
Don't get any crazy ideas, Seven. Do not get any crazy ideas.
You know what?
I don't. Oh,
yeah,
God.
there you go. Yeah.
Listen, I don't see parental advisory anywhere.
Let's go.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let's fix that.
Yeah, we got to put that up.
Go put that up now. Go put that up now, Seven.
There we go.
Okay, we're good. We can go now. We're good. Now we can do
it. Yeah. Now I'm straight now. All right, let's go ahead and get into that.
I don't know who you are, but hi.
What's up, man?
What's
That's
up?
Rob.
That's Rob.
That's Rob. Hi,
Yeah,
Rob.
that's Big Rob. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Man, first day. My bracket was trash. First day. What y'all think about the first day of the tournament?
Kudos to the team manager who got 6 figures in NIL deals.
Yep, you're talking about Amir from
Yeah, Aura from
Yeah.
McNeese,
Yep.
who I said was going to fucking win.
He
Just want to
did,
throw that
man.
out there. We got to step out for a second.
I was gonna say, man, Will already quit.
He just doesn't want to accept that a white guy knew some basketball. Like that's just hard for him.
I'm gonna say it like this. I didn't fill out a bracket. I probably would have had St. John go into the Final Four, and St. John got beat by a really good Arkansas team.
Yeah.
I will say the Patino Calipari rivalry, I still think is fresh as hell, even though they've been coaching rivalries for like 20 years now.
It's just relevant.
Oh my God. It's crazy how the two of them continue to evolve college basketball the way that they do. Otherwise, UConn lost to Florida. That would have been the team that I would have probably had lose to St. John in the Elite Eight. So that side of the bracket is gone. I like Tom Izzo. I also would have thought Creighton would have beat Auburn. So that side of my bracket would have been gone. Duke and Arizona is going to be a hell of a matchup. And then in the other side of the bracket, I would have had Gonzaga beating Houston. So anyway, I look at it. I didn't fill out a bracket this year, but I'm okay with that because mine would have been trashed at this point.
I will say to Alabama's credit, they are going farther than I thought. And I think they can beat BYU. BYU, I think, stunned a lot of people against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But I actually, with how Bama's been playing, the wins against Robert Morris and St. Mary's were decisive. I mean, there's a little bit more of a gap to St. Mary's. And I do think that St. Mary's was better than Robert Morris, obviously. So I do think I can now say, especially I didn't have a bracket, so it didn't matter to me. I like BYU. I like Alabama over BYU. And then I think out of the other side of that bracket, I think that in this next 2 games is where we're going to see Auburn fall.
Yeah.
Michigan can put pressure on, and if they don't, Michigan State will do it.
I think a Michigan State Elite Eight matchup would be absolutely amazing.
I'd watch the fuck out of that game.
Hell yeah. Like I said, I think as much as people continue to talk about the kids playing the ball, at this stage of the NCAA tournament, it's all about coaching. Yep. I think Tom Izzo, I think John Calipari, those 2 guys, and at a certain extent, the Duke coach, John, I forget what his last name is, but that coach at Duke has got his team playing on a different level as well. I don't see a coach in the Midwest bracket. That's Houston, Purdue, Kentucky. Well, Purdue's coach is pretty solid because he got him to the national championship last year.
I can't remember who Houston's coach is, but I want to say this. When I look at, and this was going to be my next point, when we look at the Midwest corner of the bracket with who's right there right now going into the 16, those 4 teams, whoever comes out of that bracket from those 4 teams is going to be, I think is going to win the tournament.
Yeah. I
think this is our real champions bracket right here, right now.
Yeah. Because that's the only side of the bracket that still has the top 4 teams in. Every other bracket has at least one underdog in. Now, I will say this, Arkansas being the 10th ranked team, I don't think they're positively 10th. I would honestly put them at a 6 or a 7 in the bracket.
Yeah, what's up, Cal?
Better than 10. What's up,
yeah,
Cal? How you doing, Cal?
They're definitely playing better than a 10, considering that they beat Kansas, who has Bill Self as a head coach, and that Kansas squad is nothing to sneeze at. And then they beat Rick Pitino and St. John's, who was ranked number 1 for how long this year? So yeah, I mean, that Arkansas team is not playing like a 10th ranked team in a tournament.
I didn't like the way, and he's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. 13-game win streak got snapped. I didn't like the way Dan Hurley reacted.
Oh yeah,
I didn't care for that at all.
There's been a big focus recently on player behavior and conduct and sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Right. That's been a pretty consistent topic. What the fuck was that? It's just like the there was that situation in high school basketball Friday night where coach was videotaped pulling one of his players' hairs.
Yeah.
Now I need you to know that if I was a parent in that stand, I'm catching a felony. There's no reason. I get it. And here's the thing. I understand there are people that were talking about her behavior before that. She was swearing at the coach. She had fouled out. She was emotional. She was frustrated. Players are passionate. You want players with that passion. I'm sorry. In that moment as a coach, my job is to help bring that person down,
right?
Not exacerbate the situation. And as a leader, you failed that girl. You broke that girl's trust.
Hey, so what happened?
There was a coach in high school basketball that got caught on camera pulling a teenage girl's hair after
one of his players' hair at the end of a game. She had fouled out and she was frustrated. He was talking to her. She yelled at him and swore at him. And he pulled her hair like to discipline and behavior correct.
Yeah.
And it was caught on camera.
Yeah. And in a situation,
I would be catching a felony.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm a parent in the stands of any team and I see a coach do that to a student, I'm catching a felony.
I don't even care if it's my child. I'm catching a felony.
At some point, like for me personally, if you have to get physical as a coach, you don't aim for the head. You don't aim for the hair. It's like I would essentially like bear hug and say, hey, no, come on, take a step back. We're good. You should not in any way, like no contact up towards the face or hair should be done.
No violent contact.
Exactly.
But if you're embracing her, pulling in that tight hug, like just scream it out, let it out, get that frustration out. I got you. I love you. You know, right here. That's actually a truly compassionate move to do.
Yeah.
Especially for one of your players that's in that moment.
And you are right. You want that emotion and passion on the court. Because if it's just like cool, I fouled out, whatever. You got like that Dennis Rodman attitude where it's like, dude, forget whatever. But as a coach, you want those people who are emotional, who, I mean, you're going to lose games, but you'd rather have that person on the winning side because you know that person is going to have the passion that, hey, we're only down by 4 with 20 seconds left, right? We're still in this. Do not give up, guys. We got a chance to win this game.
See, but here's my thing, though, and here's my thinking, just personal perspective here. If you're a coach, you should never want to put any hand on your player. It doesn't matter. And like, Tony, I get what you're saying. Agreed. Totally compassionate thing to like do that, but like, why? Like, I just don't think there's a need for you to even do anything like that.
I agree.
Your job is to be the adult and be the mentor and be a coach in that position. So like, sit that person down and be like, hey, understood. I'm right here with you in this same game.
But
let's refocus and get ourselves back into this game. Hold on, and like get ourselves back to where we need to be because we're only down by 4 points. Let's get it. We got this, but let's just recenter and refocus and let's get back in this game.
But there are situations, even as an adult, where your emotions take the best of you and just the rational, hey, sit down, take a breath. That's not going to work. You got that person whose emotions are taking over who, oh my God, I got so much I want to say to you, ref, because you're being stupid. Or I got so much I want to say, coach, because I need to get that out. I can't keep this contained inside. So when you get to that point as a coach, there has to be that level of, hey, look, I get it. Hey, look, I get it. And if you're cussing at me as an adult, hey, look, I'm not going to stand for this. Okay, no, stop. And then that's where, again, as an adult, I would go with the, okay, you and I are I'm going to hug you. You and I are taking a walk. Let's go. Like you do not need to be in this situation. There were much better situations in way that they could have handled that.
I guess it's just different because like when I had those situations happen, sit on the bench. You're not talking to me like that.
Like,
and that's the reasonable response because it was this issue happened at the end as they were going for the handshake line after the game. And so my response would be sit down. You can come in once you've calmed down and shaken the hands of every player. Yes. And I'm going to stop to that coach and be like, hey, I need your help for a minute. Keep your girls right here. She needs to calm down before she shakes hands and is a good sportsman. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you giving her a couple of minutes to chill out. She got emotional.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to understand that.
Yeah.
You're going to have 100% buy-in. The other players are going to support that because they would want that same compassion.
Yeah.
And that's, athletes, especially at the high school level, stuff like that. Like, we get it. We get it. And so I just,
It's an
so many
unfortunate
ways
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many ways that they could have, done it. But good coaching makes an impact.
Yeah.
And right now, when we look at this next level, bad coaching is going to call it out too. And so we look at, like the impassioned speech, talking about, the ball and all of that.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that setting for your players? We're trying to get back to there being a modicum of decorum. It's two words you don't use very often when it comes to athlete behavior, because as much as we all respect athletes and appreciate their talent, we understand that they're human beings. There was a while there where shit kind of got off the rails when it comes to athlete behavior. Like we can call it what it is. And then we have the coaches who are, primarily responsible for managing those egos. And this is how he responds to this situation. Can't do it.
Yeah.
He
needed to put himself in timeout.
He definitely should have delayed his conference, and you can. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But it was definitely passionate. Now, so let me ask you this: when you did you watch the play that he was pissed off about?
Dan Hurley or the high school coach?
Dan Hurley.
No, I did. I watched most of the game, but I did not see the play that he was frustrated with.
Okay. Well, that makes it more annoying. That's okay. All right. Well, let's throw out some picks because Will had to step away again. Who you got coming out of the East? Do you got Duke in Arizona and BYU in Alabama?
So I'm gonna go out of the East. Everybody in my family hates Duke. I am actually gonna pull for Duke. I think Duke has a very solid team. Arizona, they're led by Caleb Love, and they have a few guys that can play the number 2. Duke has Cooper Flagg, but they have a lot of guys that are a solid number 2 and can take over if Flagg gets into foul trouble. So I'm going to go with Duke. I'm going to take Duke, and then I will probably follow suit and say BYU with the upset over Alabama, because BYU has played 2 fairly solid teams in VCU and Wisconsin. I think a lot of people slept on Wisconsin, and I think Wisconsin could have played Alabama really well had they have beaten BYU, and they only lost by 2. But I think BYU is playing on a different level, especially in the conference that they play in. I think they can take Alabama to the limit. So I'm going to go with Duke and BYU in the East. Who do you got out of the East?
I think actually I think it's going to be Duke and Alabama. Like I said, I'm a lot more believing in Alabama, especially since they got better. They looked better against St. Mary's than they did against Robert Morris. They still look good against Robert Morris.
I will say this. There was that, 8.5, 9-minute stretch between Alabama and St. Mary where St. Mary just could not buy a bucket. They got easy shots inside that they couldn't hit. They got wide open threes that they couldn't hit. Foul shots that they could. It's just St. Mary's, to me, reminded me a lot of that Ole Miss and Iowa State game, and we'll get to that side of the bracket.
Oh, yeah.
They could not catch a break. They ran perfect plays. They got ball screens the way that they did, and St. Mary's just couldn't get the ball to fall. So,
what do you got? Who you got coming out of the South?
Do we got to get Erica's first out of the East?
We don't care what she thinks.
I do. Erica, who do you got coming out of the East?
Listen, Fairleigh Dickinson's out. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. All right. What's that?
I will be honest. If I'm pulling for any team out of it, go Vols.
Tennessee, got it. What side are we looking at now? What side are we looking at?
Midwest? Well, let's hit the South. Let's hit the South. Auburn and Michigan, Ole Miss and Michigan State.
I said it. I want a Big Ten matchup. I want Michigan and Michigan State. I said it at the beginning. I didn't think Auburn was a very strong team. They proved me wrong with Creighton. I thought Creighton was a really solid team coming out of the Big East, and Auburn crushed them. But I will say I like Michigan State and Michigan.
Hold on. Auburn did not crush Creighton. Auburn played better in the second half than they did in the first half. Creighton's
always been a good team. Creighton has always been a good team.
Creighton actually Creighton was so good in the first half. People were wondering if Auburn was going to survive that game.
Yeah. See, Creighton is 90 minutes south of where I live because I live in Sioux City.
And they're in Omaha, right?
Yeah, Creighton's based out of Omaha. So, but yeah.
I didn't know where they were.
Yeah, Creighton's out of Omaha.
I didn't know that. Okay.
What's up,
okay.
Rob?
Learn something new every day. What's up, Rob?
What
up, man?
Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to get a special guest in here because he actually filled out a bracket. So give me just a second.
What's going on, my brother Rob?
Will, while he's doing that, who do you got coming out of the south side of the bracket now? Like Auburn, Michigan, Ole Miss, Michigan State.
Let me put my bracket up real quick. It's torn to shreds, but I'll pull it up real quick. That thing ain't torn. Oh, real quick, Ando.
Correct calls.
Ando. Bulls and Warriors tied at 65.
Bulls and Nuggets are tied at 65.
Bulls and Nuggets. Bulls and Nuggets. Maybe.
All right,
maybe.
I'm gonna bring on a special guest who's gonna talk about his bracket. I'm gonna give it up for Lone Wolfpack 008 on Xbox. He's also Anderson Gaming Posse on Twitch. Give it up for Robert. Here we go.
My man Rob. What up, man?
Let's take a seat too. Sweet.
This is the attractive twin for everybody that's
What's up, brother?
I have the best bracket in the game right now, yo.
Yeah, first thing Zombie and Beat.
What's up, man?
Sorry. First time here. Hey, everybody, how we doing?
What's going on, Rob? What up, bro?
All right, I got no sound. Brandon, I got no sound, dude. I can't hear him.
You can't hear him?
You got yours pulled
I
up yet?
can't hear him.
Okay, hold on.
You pull my bracket up real quick. Just somewhere in this motherfucker.
So we're good there. So yeah, they both should be there.
No, well, that's why you unplugged it when you
I did
handed
not
it off
unplug
to
it,
me.
you dick. You did.
Whatever.
Try it now.
I'm listening. Okay, I think I can hear him. Sorry, guys.
Can
Sorry.
you hear us now?
First time.
Yes, now, man.
All right.
You good?
What you got?
Can you hear me now?
Can
Good.
you hear me now?
Old school commercials. All right, so are you guys ready to hear the best bracket ever?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right, so my final four. Right now, I have Kentucky coming out of the Midwest, Duke coming out of the East. I didn't want to pick Duke, but I felt like they were the best team.
I get
coming
that.
out of the East. In the South, I've got Michigan.
Okay.
You ready for my perfect bracket? Because this team I picked to win it all. St. John's. They lost.
Do you think Arkansas? Do you think Arkansas can take Texas Tech?
No. Dude, to be perfectly honest, I filled out a bracket all on a blind whim this year because I have not followed a single ounce of basketball.
That's like 80% of the people that fall out of bracket.
The only thing I knew is I wanted to pick Connecticut because I've been a huge fan of Connecticut since I started following sports. Like when it comes to all college, usually I will go Washington above anyone else. College basketball is the only one that I go to for UConn. Like I'll still root for Washington, but UConn Huskies is the only one, men or women's, that I will choose over anyone else. However, this year looking at it, it's like I couldn't pick Connecticut this year. I knew that they didn't have the team to win it, but I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to upset Florida, how close it would have been. So my bracket did choose Florida over Connecticut, but that was one of the worst, heartbreaking ones that I had to choose.
Yeah, sometimes you're trying to. I have a friend that I've had since high school, and he makes two brackets every year. One where KU wins it, because he's a huge KU fan, and then another where he picks more reasonably, as he calls it.
Yeah.
And very rarely does KU actually make it even to the Final Four in that bracket.
The only, like, one of the biggest brackets I ever remember making, I was still living in Washington at the time, and it was one of the two times both UConn men and women won the tournament.
Oh, wow.
And I remember it was a huge poll. We probably had like 14, 15 people in this poll, and I was down by like 54 points going into the Final Four. despite me having like one of the worst brackets coming out of the first 64, he told me that because I had Butler and I had UConn going to the national championship and I had UConn winning it. He said that if that exact same thing happened and you won out the rest of the games, I would have had enough points to win it. And I'm just sitting there like, there's no way in hell. No way in hell I was going to win this bracket. Ended up winning that bracket. I think it was like in 2009. That was like my greatest. It was the greatest bracket I ever created, and it still sucked.
Don't they all?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, but it's been good. But I'm loving the tournament so far. It's really been good, despite my brackets messed up. I got Houston winning it all. I just think they're too athletic.
Yeah.
They're a really athletic team. My only cause for pause if the refs let them play. Yeah, that they're too athletic. I think they're too athletic. They're the most athletic team in the country. You might look at Florida. You can look at Florida too. A lot of people got Florida. My son picked Florida to win. So,
dude, that game, UConn and Florida, that was one of the best college basketball games I've seen. And like
it was
even with Colorado State and
really
I know it wasn't Maryland. Was it Maryland or was it what other team? What team just beat Colorado State with the buzzer?
Yeah, that was Maryland.
That was Maryland. Okay.
Yeah.
Even that buzzer beater, like that's one of the like that's our first buzzer beater for the tournament. Like, I still think UConn and Florida was a better game.
It was a solid game.
Hey, that women's side of the bracket though is looking pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I had
wait. Do women have a bracket?
Yeah, the women do.
Come on. Come on, Seven.
I normally do one. I normally do one.
I
normally do one. I didn't do one this year, but I normally do one.
I didn't do a women's this year either.
I normally do one, but
LSU. I got to watch the end of the LSU game. That was a good game against Florida State. They won. I think it was 101 to 71. I think was the score.
Oh wow, we got North Carolina and Duke in the women's game coming up soon.
Yep.
And then you got OU won today. OU's playing UConn next.
Dude, I love UConn. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
That'll be a very interesting game because UConn, from my understanding, what I know, UConn has always been a very good basketball school.
Yeah.
So,
dude, is like the first I remember from UConn. Rebecca Lobo was one of the best female stars, but like I strictly started following them when you had like Emeka Okafor, Diana Taurasi.
Oh yeah.
The beginning of Gino Arguema's like great run in that school, and I still to this day, I'm still going to stand by and say that Arguema and Summit is the greatest women's basketball rivalry of all time.
But yeah, I'm enjoying the tournament. It's been really good. We saw some upsets. We saw High Point win. So we got some upsets. So yeah, I've been really thoroughly enjoyed by the tournament so far. So let's see how this thing shakes out and continues. All right, let's move on to the rest of the show. I got a question concerning the NFL draft. Is Cam Ward a lock to the Titans at number one?
Yep. Is that Coach Phil hear you?
Oh, my bad.
If you want to mute, you guys.
I don't think the Titans. I told this to the NFL Genius Gene a couple weeks ago. I don't think Tennessee keeps that pick.
I think they're trading it.
I think
and where?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, really, why wouldn't you? Give me a reason why you. I mean, come on.
Because guess who's going to be in next year's draft? Archie Manning.
Yep.
The tanking for Archie has already started. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Oh, there it is. I was like, I know
and I'm not going to disrespect the ability of Cam Ward.
USC and Mississippi State are still playing.
But Tennessee's playing the long game here. They're going to build around pieces that they think are going to work. They're going to get pieces that they think are going to work with Archie, and they're also going to be looking at getting assets that they can use next year to continue to build around Archie once they get a little bit more of an understanding of him. But right now, the Tennessee Titans, I would say the New York Jets, the New York Giants, I think they are all right now on the cusp of playing for.
Wouldn't be the Giants for Ward. It is signed your boy.
Jameis Winston, I still think if they're going to do anything,
they're still
Reverend Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Reverend Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how you say it. Yes.
Okay, well, unfortunately, the name says Robert, not Ando, so I will pronounce it as Jameis Winston right now. So I apologize on that one.
Hey, but they go boo the hell out of Jameis, man.
Oh, yeah.
The first pick that fool get, he gonna get booed.
Dude, it's not going to be the first pick. It's going to be the first dumb play that Jameis does.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about a guy who went to Florida State, one of the best college football of all time, like one of the best programs that they have, and you play like you're on rookie every single year. Like the rookie, like if you're playing Madden, it's just always rookie setting every single time. It's not going to take very long for Winston to make a stupid decision. Then they're going to turn around and they're going to start booing him.
I don't think that's going to happen. Hold on. I don't think Arch is going to go to the Browns. No.
Kyle, get in here. Get in here.
I don't know.
Come face that.
I don't think. I just don't think. I think the Browns would be too improved to be able to pick that high next year.
No, they're.
I think there'd be someone.
You're facing a double edge.
Have a first round pick next year.
That'd be someone improved.
I don't think.
And here's the next thing you're also talking about improvement with the Browns, though. Yeah, I do see improvement with the Browns. But then what are you going to do with Deshaun Watson with his contract and him not even playing the entire season?
Oh,
he's done in Cleveland.
Yeah,
they're going to cut him.
They're cutting him after this season because
they're going to cut him after this year. He's done
right now. He's not going to play this season at all.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, they will cut him and he will be done.
They're going to cut him.
Yeah, it's Deshaun Watson is done in Cleveland. I don't think he's probably already sold his house and moved.
Yep.
But
I really think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft.
I would still take Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders.
I would too.
There's too many variables with Shedeur. And it's not anything to do with not liking black quarterbacks or anything like that. Obviously, it has everything to do with the fact that while Shedeur has talent, Shedeur has also always been surrounded by everything exactly what he wants all the time. The NFL is going to hit reality. The reality of the NFL is going to hit Shedeur in the chest. And here's the thing. If I'm wrong and he succeeds, I will be happy I'm eating my words because he will be a truly elite quarterback. But what I am expecting is for him to fall flat on his face and not be in the league at the end of his rookie deal.
I definitely agree with you 1,000% and couldn't have said that better.
I think it depends. I think it depends on where he goes. If he goes,
I don't respectfully. Well, I don't think it matters where he goes. My big thing is you take a look at the best quarterbacks and they can adjust to the system that they're going to be playing in. Shedeur has only played in Daddy's system. When Daddy's not there to hold his hand anymore and to pull him away from, you need to do this better, son. I'm sorry. Coaches like that, and one of two things is going to happen. You play for an organization that's got a hard-nosed, no-nonsense son of a bitch coach, and he's going to look at you and you go, this is the system we have to run. And Shedeur is going to be like, well, I want to be in charge. What do I do now that Daddy is not here? Or it's going to be a repeat of Aaron Rodgers where the coach won't do jack crap to fix the situation. The quarterback's going to be running the thing. And then when they finally do get into the situation where they have to start making changes and you're not listening to the quarterback's going to throw a little baby temper tantrum and they're not going to let him do what he wants to do.
But my only thing is this. He's been raised and been around Hall of Famers all his life. So I think he will have a more professional approach to him The reason why I say I think it matters where he goes
It
is
definitely matters where
because
he goes.
what's that?
I say, yeah, it does. It definitely
I
matters.
think it matters where he goes that would determine that. And that's my only call for pause. But I think he'll be more professional than what you just described. I think he'll be fine on that ledger. It just depends on where he goes. What's his surroundings? Does he have weapons? Does he have a line? Things like
Very
that.
true.
Which is why I truly think the Giants not drafted, but I think that's what the Giants truly drafted Jameis Winston. They know that line ain't all there.
No.
They know that line ain't there. That's one of the worst offensive lines in football with the Giants.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's a terrible offensive line.
But here's the thing. The sentence of not building out that offensive line with the pieces that you can, because if you trade that first pick,
New York Giants, Jacksonville,
and this is why I think they're going to trade the first pick. You trade that, or whatever their first round pick is. For the Giants, what is that? Their second, right? The Titans are first.
Giants are third. Browns are two. Titans are one.
So you can trade that 3 pick. Let somebody else get Shador. I'm serious. I'm not. And somebody that's trading up is probably targeting him specifically, and they want him for a reason. That means that there is actual chance that the coaching situation is going to be better for Shador. I'm actually trying to help set Shador up for success here.
Right.
They trade that pick, trade back a little bit. Get
how far up? Like what pick would you go? Like what pick would you be at to be considering trading with the Giants at 3?
Well, I mean, it depends on a team that's really trying to get a quarterback.
Saints will do it.
The Saints
See, I don't see the Saints moving. I don't see the Saints moving up 6 picks, especially since okay, and obviously I'm just looking at what I'm reading on this site.
Saints will do it because they need it, because they know they need a QB.
I mean, with
there's already room.
Yeah,
there's already room about Derek Carr not being there. So
yeah, it's the Saints, the Jets. I think there will probably be 5 teams that would take that pick.
Good point, Kyle. Raiders may trade up from 6.
Exactly. Because the Raiders, there's a lot of reports showing that the Raiders like Shador Sanders. And and like I said, the right situation, a guy like Pete Carroll coaching Shador Sanders, that is a real good situation for him. The other piece being because Tom Brady's a minority owner, you can't tell me he's not going to be there working on his investment.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention, especially since you've got Pete Carroll, he can use Geno Smith until Sanders is actually ready for it. And then you're right.
Exactly.
I can see that.
Exactly. And the one thing is, and that's one thing about Geno you can say.
Right.
That's the one thing about Geno. At least he might not be the greatest thrower of the football, but at least he's professional.
He is. And
he's professional.
Well,
ever since he took that shot to the jaw, he's been very professional.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you saw what he did with Pete Carroll until Pete Carroll retired, and then even last year with the new coach.
Yep.
He can play in a system, and I think I don't think the Raiders need they need the franchise quarterback, but I don't think they need the franchise quarterback at this moment. They need somebody who can manage the game until the franchise owner can step in.
And that's where this type of plan would come from if you're the Giants, because you can trade back a little bit and move into where you'll have more picks to get some linemen, and you got plenty of time to test them out. You've got plenty of time to look through free agency, look at trade opportunities. It's much more of a building block move to trade out of the 3rd pick at this point for the Giants.
It is more than just one glaring position on the offensive line for the Giants. It's everywhere.
Exactly. So it's like shooting fish in a barrel at this point.
Yeah.
Grab the best offensive lineman, and then you know what? The Raiders are throwing you there.
Get somebody to protect Winston's blind side and go from there.
Yeah. 100%. No reason not to do it at this point, because you're investing in your future. And then you can still move into position where you can get Archie Manning next year.
I could probably see that.
Because
I can see that.
at this point, I would rather wait for Archie Manning than risk it on Shedeur Sanders, knowing that I probably don't have the right coaching situation for him, but I can get the right coaching situation for Archie Manning ready if I have this much time to plan for it. Because Brian Daboll's got to prove that he can coach this year. He's out of a job.
Yeah.
And then you're in the position where you are trying to figure out exactly who you want to coach Archie Manning. Is this where Cliff Kingsbury gets his shot to coach again? Is this where we see Bill O'Brien pop back into play? There's a lot of potential with that job next season. So
it don't need to be Bill O'Brien, but yeah.
I mean, it's about his time. He pretended to be sorry for doing exactly what the Texans organization deserved when he nuked out that team. It was 100% intentional. But yeah,
I wouldn't trust to butt chin with anything higher up than a coordinator position.
Oh no,
I'm sorry.
I'd let him take over for Andy Reid in Kansas City.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Wait, you would let Bill O'Brien take over coaching?
He's ready to retire. Yeah. Okay. You may not be aware of this, but I'm 100% convinced that the entire reason that Texans offense got nuked was because Bill O'Brien was being prevented from doing anything about what Deshaun Watson was doing, because it's now known that during that period, the Texans were already aware of his conduct. Bill O'Brien has daughters.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien nuked that team and screwed the organization because they wouldn't do anything about Deshaun Watson. And his nuking the team and everything that followed from that is why Deshaun Watson got found out.
Okay.
So Bill O'Brien can coach my team anytime.
Okay.
But I am loving the fact that we got everything going on right now. NBA's in full swing. We got the tournament going on right now. We got NFL football draft coming up. Baseball's here. We got a lot going down, man.
NFL football draft is the most optimistic I will be with my team this season. No, yeah, he's staying with Atlanta.
That's terrible.
He wants to. Well, what I've seen is that he's staying with Atlanta until after the draft because he wants to see what Atlanta does with the draft. And then if he doesn't like what they've done with the draft, he's gonna try to go.
That's terrible. That's terrible. You need to go.
If Kurt was going to be smart, he would just say,
get it, Seven. Get it.
He need to go. He need to leave now. Why you went to after the for what? Leave now. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad. They're gonna sign another quarterback at some point.
I'm really fucking just like disappointed with Atlanta. Like I feel like Atlanta could be doing so much fucking better. I don't understand
that contract. They're not going to be able to trade him. They're going to have him as the most expensive backup in the league. That's the only fucking option.
Yeah, like Atlanta literally has like no choice because nobody's going to take him. It's
nobody wants that contract.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to be biased here. I'm a Washington Husky fan. Let my boy Penix cook, man. He's not going to get better if he sits on the bench.
Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with you there. Penix should be the starter. Just like what Kyle said, Kirk isn't the starter. Michael Penix Jr. is a starter in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like, make no question about it, regardless of where.
Derek Carr.
And the thing is that I think what Atlanta's trying to do is they're trying to also like attempt to rebuild around Penix because they just let go of Jarrett.
Grady Jarrett.
Just
Grady
like
Jarrett.
go him. Yeah. Like there's just so much that Atlanta needs to do. I mean, like obviously
you got to find a way to get rid of Kyle Pitts and figure out how they're going to recover from that debacle because all of these problems, and it was him the whole time.
Listen, I really think that they need to fucking pick up Danny Stutzman from OU and start going from there. Stutzman's gross. They need to do something on their fucking line. They've got to do something.
Back to Mahomes. Yes, finally. Somebody more famous than Taylor Swift is coming to Kansas City, and that's Gardner fucking Minshew.
Dude, let me tell you something about Gardner Minshew. All right, when Jacksonville went with Nick Foles after Blake Bortles, and when Minshew got picked up because total Washington guy, Washington State Cougar on my team, I'm like, hell no, get Minshew off my team. I don't want him. Third week of the season, he beats the Dolphins. Thursday night football, he's having a grand old time. I'm like, all right, I like Minshew. He's good. If you're going to have a backup to Mahomes, get Minshew back there, get him to learn the system, and I think the Chiefs will be fine if Mahomes has a problem. I don't want Mahomes to have a problem, but I like Minshew.
I do. I'm actually happy that Minshew's the backup. I like his attitude. I like his swagger. I don't want him in a game. But
you just hate the mustache, Will. That's the only reason why you're doing that.
Yeah, Will can't grow a mustache as well as Gardner Minshew can. That's his problem.
I can't.
He just blames it on white privilege and moves on.
That's all it is. It's white privilege, man. That's what it is, man.
I'm sorry. I don't think Will could pull off the bandana either that Minshew could do. So
I ain't trying to pull off no damn bandana. What I look like? What the hell I look like?
The locks. I can't do
hell
the
no.
locks. I'm sorry.
I ain't trying to pull off no bandana. The hell?
Oh my god.
Hell no.
Oh shit.
Can we have Rob on the show more often? Sorry, and all, but like
Ando just
when he was putting his headset on, I said he was the favorite twin.
I didn't hear that, so I'm glad you didn't say it.
Hey,
he did. Hey, he really did.
Let me ask y'all a question. We talked about it a little bit before. My Bulls beat the Lakers 146-114. How is this Lakers loss something or is it nothing?
It depends on how the rest of the season goes.
Remember, LeBron was back.
Yep.
Luka was there. Everybody was there for both squads. And the Bulls came up for that huge victory.
I wonder how LeBron is not because you remember like in the late 2000s when Shaq was getting at the end of his career, and he became just the spokesperson for Tinactin foot spray. Like LeBron's kind of at that same age and that same point where he should probably be. I mean, like he doesn't do a lot of those kind of ad deals very often, but I feel like it's almost a rite of passage as an older NBA player, older athlete type person to become it. I think it's LeBron's turn. And
what, Kyle? The Lakers are fourth in the West, Kyle.
They're
fourth in the West. Yeah.
Are they going to stay fourth? I think that their path could impact it, but they have to get in sync.
All right. I don't follow basketball as much as I used to, but flat out honest, I don't. Even with Luka there, I don't see the Lakers going past the second round.
No, they won't make it past the second round.
They're overhyped. They are definitely overhyped. I feel like they always
get in here.
God damn you, Brandon.
The Lakers have always been hyped, and I think that they're even more hyped now because of having LeBron there.
But here's the problem if you look at different eras of the Lakers, when you had Magic Johnson, you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you had James Worthy, they had hype, but they were able to back it up. Then they went through that stretch before they got Shaq. They had like Vlade Divac, Nick Van Exel.
You're gonna talk about Nick Van Exel now. Hold up now.
I'm just saying Nick
was good.
They were decent. They weren't great.
Nick was good.
You had Stockton and Malone of the Jazz. You had Peyton and Kemp of the
Nick
Suns.
was the shining star.
One in that great Rockets. You put that Lakers team against other teams that weren't in the West like that, they probably could have won a lot more games and went further into the playoffs. But
it was the shining star in the team.
It's just when you look at the East, you had Shaq, you had Alonzo Mourning, you had Patrick Ewing, all of these great players and all of these great teams in the East, they couldn't get past Michael Jordan. So then you go to the Shaq days. All of a sudden, Shaq starting to get the team put together. You bring Kobe in. You're doing really good with their wins there. Then you get the Shaq-Kobe split era. They split. Takes a couple of years. Kobe brings the Lakers into relevancy again. They start winning more championships. This series of LeBron, they're good. You've got Luka, you've got LeBron, you got the key pieces. But the problem is it's trying to be the LeBron show. The Lakers, I don't think LeBron is like what this is going to get me in trouble. I don't think LeBron as a Laker compares to Kobe as a Laker. No. This isn't
definitely agreed.
But it's two different mentalities, though.
Yeah,
to be fair to LeBron
mentality, and then you got the self-centered mentality.
Right,
it's totally different. That's not fair.
Right, it's true because Kobe was that killer. He was that killer.
But Kobe was also the one who would wait until the pieces were lined up before he would go for the kill. Like you could tell, like, okay, this isn't the team that I need right now. I'm still going to play my butt off, but I know we're not going to win until we get this piece, this piece, this piece. Then as soon as he had all those pieces, Kobe Bryant turned into, well, screw you all. This is the Lakers year this year. And he would knock everyone down a peg. So that's what I'm saying is while LeBron is good, and I'm not going to say LeBron isn't good, this type of LeBron is not the LeBron that the Lakers need.
And I'll make the case that he's too old to be what the Lakers need him to be.
Agreed.
The Lakers will be back in complete relevance again, the way the Lakers should be in 2 years. Just it's recovering assets from everything that happened during the LeBron era and signing free agents and getting things starting to rebuild the team, and then around Luka. And then we're going to see the Lakers truly flourish as a basketball team, because there's not saying that LeBron and Luka aren't playing together because of not getting along or anything like that. It's just that
they just started together.
It's going to take time for that chemistry.
Yeah, you got.
And unfortunately, I don't think LeBron has time for that chemistry. If the Lakers were smart, they would let LeBron finish up his contract here, but they would start building the pieces around Luka. Do not build pieces around LeBron. Build it around Luka.
Yeah. Because Luka's your younger talent, so that makes sense.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Is they're building around Luka now.
So I got work tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and hop back off. I'll bring Ando back on. Thanks for letting me join you guys for a little bit.
All right, Rob. We appreciate you, brother.
All right, dude. Later,
brother Rob. All right, man. But that's another thing about the West too, guys. Everybody is saying that OKC is the guaranteed favorite. I don't know, because they were saying that about OKC last season, and they ended up getting bounced. OKC is still a young team, and they're still unproven.
They have more experience. I mean, especially it's not easy to just be at this point. We've got 8 games left and 9 games left. No, 10. About 10 for them. 10 or 11 games left in their season. And they have 12 losses total on the year.
Yep.
30-5 at home, 28-7 on the road. Pretty good, even splits. Either way. That's a pretty, they're 9-1 in their last 10. And when you look at who the Thunder have played in their last 10, in order, it's Clippers, Hornets, Sixers, Bucks, Pistons, Celtics. The one loss was to the Nuggets. Then they beat the Nuggets the game before that. Blazers and Grizzlies and Rockets, I believe. Rockets and maybe Spurs. So above, nothing spectacular talent-wise. There's some decent teams in there, beating the Pistons and the Celtics, who are both on a tear right now. They did get 1 out of 2 against the Nuggets.
Yep.
There's some decent teams in there, but is it going to hold in the playoffs? Obviously they're the favorite to take it now at this point. I'm pretty sure they've pretty much got it clinched, that they're the number 1 seed, but can they?
Yeah, stay? They already clinched it.
They've been clinched that. They've been clinched that.
Okay, already clinched the
But my thing is, like I said, I'm not ready to put them on top just yet. I'm just not.
Okay, who would you put on top?
I'm just not, because we saw them last season get upset by Dallas.
Right. But Dallas was playing with a lot more playoff experience than OKC was.
This is true.
OKC now has. Go ahead, Erica.
Well, to my understanding, this is a totally different OKC team than the team that they had last year.
They're a bit different. They got a few more veterans on the team. They got Andrew. They got Alex Caruso.
Yeah, they got Alex Caruso from Chicago.
So
we decided to take Giddey for some reason.
They've got a little bit of that experience. If they've got the potential to go, I wouldn't necessarily count them out, because I think it was a week or two ago, y'all were talking about it and saying they've been to the playoffs. They just couldn't get farther. So they have the experience to get there. It's just a matter of, are they actually going to finish?
They're the ongoing favorite, and I get that. I understand that. But that West is so tight. and that West is so bunched up. And when you got a team out there that can do what the Rockets can do, when you got a team out there that can run the floor like them, I tell you, Nelly, I'm worried about for next season, particularly if they get the number 1 pick. For next season, little preview, let the Spurs get Cooper Flag. Let that happen.
Cooper Flag. Victor Wembanyama. Who's their point guard that they just put on injured reserve?
And then they got Castle, your rookie of the year.
Yep.
Man, don't let that happen.
De'Aaron Fox is who's in San Antonio, right?
Yep. De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that team.
He had 7 surgery.
The team that I think that will surprise people in the West this year. I'm going to actually go with Houston. As much as OKC is playing really, really great basketball, Houston was on a 9-game winning streak before losing.
Yep.
Because they're also 9-1 in their last 10. I think as of right now, the top 3 seeds is Oklahoma City, Houston, and Denver. Denver's 5-5 in their last 10.
Don't trust Denver because they have no depth.
But I trust Denver to beat a younger Rockets team. If Denver draws Houston in that second round, I think it favors Denver.
They just got to be careful because if Houston starts to run on them, that's going to be a bad. That's going to be a bad series for the Nuggets.
If Denver can draw the 4 seed, so let's just say hypothetically, because the Lakers right now are in the 4. If the Nuggets drop to the 4, the Lakers drop to the 5, and the Nuggets somehow get up to the 3. I don't see it. The Grizzlies jump up to the 3. I think the Rockets have a better matchup against the Grizzlies than they do the Lakers or the Nuggets. But if you can draw the Grizzlies in that second round, because you're either going to take on the Clippers or the Timberwolves as it stands right now, because those are the teams fighting at 7 and 8. So the winner of that team will take the 7th seed. I don't see Houston losing to either one of those 2 teams. I could be wrong, because the Clippers, they play so inconsistently, and if they make the playoffs, are Kawhi and is PG going to play? Conspiracy theory, maybe,
man. Maybe you might make the envelope a little at the lottery a little bit colder than other envelopes.
Yep.
So you just go and pick the cold one, and you know who you got.
Yeah, but I think because OKC is either going to draw the loser of the Clippers and Timberwolves, and then they'll get Dallas or Sacramento. I would like Sacramento to make the playoffs, but their matchup that they would have against OKC would automatically take them out in the first round.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
And I don't see Phoenix overtaking Dallas. Phoenix could be a wild card if they can somehow get into the play-in tournament, but I don't see it happening.
I just don't see that. I get it.
Yeah.
They're a sexy pick. They're a good team. I get it.
However, I got to say this because we're talking about the Bulls earlier. The Bulls are only 4 games back of the Hawks for that 7th. If they can squeeze into the 7th and take the 7th seed, we might make it a 5-game series against the Celtics. Instead of making it a 5-game series against the Cavaliers.
I see Cleveland more than I do Boston. And the only reason why I say that is because of how Cleveland plays.
Yeah. Cleveland's been playing fairly inconsistent. Like, how do you drop from the best team to the league to now OKC is the best team in the league? Like, yeah. I still like Boston out of the East.
Me too. I'm not ready to crown Cleveland. I'm not ready to crown Cleveland. I'm not ready to crown Cleveland just yet.
It'll be a Cleveland-Boston Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, I trust Boston more than
It'll be a good series. It'll go 7.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It'll go 7. Real quick, I do want to say a real quick piece. Congrats to Dwight Howard for making it into the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. He deserves it. He should be on the top 75 NBA list. I don't know how the hell he got left off, but he should have been on there.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. And I ain't hating. People say when I say this, I'm hating. But
did Bill Walton make the top 75?
Do you realize what Dwight did in his time in the league?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you take his accomplishments, and everybody say I'm hating on this player when I say this, which I'm not. if you look at what everything Dwight Howard did and he's out, how you put Dame Lillard in? How you put Dame Lillard in?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Hey, Kyle, the Bulls get one. The Bulls get one. The Bulls get one.
Just so that they can say they never lost. See, hold on. Here's what I don't get, right? So you leave Dwight Howard off of the top 75. I'm not taking anything away, but if we look at just people in that position, like a center position, and again, I'm not taking anything away from his accomplishments in high school and college, but you put Bill Walton on the top 75. That cat was not consistent enough to be in the top 75.
God rest his soul. God rest his soul. I will say this. God rest his soul.
But
God rest his soul. I'll say this, and no disrespect to him, but go back and look at it. In the NBA, the man got more X-rays than points.
Correct. Right. And I was watching Beef History on YouTube. There's a channel that I watch a lot called SB Nation, Secret Base. And they had a Beef History, Nick the Quick, Slick Rick, Dirty Dominic.
Celtics in 5.
I like that guy. But no, I was watching Beef History between Shaq and Bill Walton. And Shaq said a lot of things that really brought Bill Walton's NBA career to light. Like, I get it. He was great in college, but you played 13 seasons in the NBA, 10 seasons in the NBA, but how many of those were full consistent seasons?
Right.
They really weren't. Right. But you have Dwight Howard, who, 8 seasons in Orlando, turned that franchise around, basically did exactly what Shaq did in 4. It took him 6 to 8 years to do it. But you turn that franchise around from absolute nothingness, just like Shaq did, with a head coach that worked with Shaq in Miami. And then you have key pieces around him, just like they did in Orlando. And you go up against a powerhouse that beat you in the finals. But you're going to say, hey, Dwight Howard didn't play as well as Bill. I'm with you. Well, I don't understand how Dwight Howard didn't make the top 75.
And correct me if I'm wrong, and look this up for me, Ando. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they got the same number of championships. 1.
Bill Walton had 2. I think.
He got 2. Boston and Portland. Boston and Portland.
I think so. He got one in Boston. He got one in Boston at the end of his career. Okay. And then, he got one in Portland. Yep, 2-time NBA champion. Okay. But Dwight is only a 1-time champion. And
Dwight only got 1 champion. He got that bubble championship.
Yep.
But that bubble championship, he did go through Joker to get it.
This is true.
If it's not a bubble championship for Dwight Howard, does he get into the top 75?
Was the top 75 put out before the 2020 season?
I thought that was after. Wasn't that like 22 or 23?
It was after.
2021 October. The NBA, the NBA celebrated its 75th anniversary through the 2021-2022 season.
It was after.
So it would have been after.
He should have been in there.
He should have.
He should have been in there.
He should have been. And as much, I'm going to say it like this, which as much BS as we give the bubble championships for the Dodgers and the Lakers, they're still championships regardless.
Yeah, they are.
I would have like I say, I would have put him in before I put Dame in.
So the problem that I have with putting him over Dame, yes, they play different positions. I would put Dame in as a top 75 player at the point guard position. But again, Damian, I think, has done more for the game than Bill Walton did. Why Bill Walton is in the top 75 is beyond me. If you're doing it based off of the top 75 college basketball players, absolutely. I would put Bill Walton in a heartbeat. But the story of the NBA can be talked about without mentioning Bill Walton's name.
Yes.
Right? He's a 2-time champion, and that's
100%.
fine.
Yes.
You can't talk about some of the playoff atmosphere in the Western Conference without talking about, remember when Dame hit that shot. Dame hit that shot against OKC that sent Paul George to the Clippers because he couldn't carry OKC by himself. Or when Dwight Howard and the Houston Rockets, James Harden, Chandler Parsons, that great Rockets team, first round, game 6, Dame hit that game-winning shot. You can't talk about the history of the Western Conference playoffs in the 2010s without mentioning Dame Lillard, right? So that's why I would put Dame over Bill in that situation. And if you're going to put Dame over Bill Walton, or if you're going to put Dame over Dwight Howard, now it becomes a position player. I think Dwight did more for the game than Bill did for the game. Well, and yeah, but I think it's a different era of basketball where you had to play from the inside out.
It is.
And
but
damn it, Kyle.
Okay, let me ask you this. And people going, and I know I'm gonna get hell on this.
Let's go.
You put old boy from the old dude from the Hawks in there, Pettis.
Okay, Bob Pettit.
Yeah, you put Bob Pettit in there.
I don't know enough about Pettit to say if I would or not. Pettit was before I started watching.
That would
catch up on the seasons, Zando. You can't just jump into the series.
It's a little before. It's even a little before my time. But when I go back and look at the stats, I'm just saying Dwight should have been in there regardless. Regardless. Look at what he did from Orlando. The man participated in the dunk contest. The man won a championship. This is the only dude that we have ever seen to consistently stop Joker.
Okay. So Bob Pettit, 26.4 points a game, 16.2 rebounds and 3 assists a game in 11 seasons with Milwaukee and then the St. Louis Hawks. 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 2-time MVP, 4-time NBA or 4-time All-Star MVP, 2-time scoring champion and NBA champion. I think you caught. I mean, granted, it was the era that he played in, but 26 points a game. That's more than Paul Pierce averaged. That's more than Scottie Pippen averaged. That's more than Oscar Robertson averaged in the time that they played. Double-double. A lot of people don't put emphasis on double-doubles. But, yeah, I would put, based on the numbers, you got to put Pettit in.
He can wait for the 100th anniversary and make the top 100.
If more people don't make it before Dwight.
Facts. They might put some more people in front of his way before he can make it. They might put some more jokers in there. All right.
Because you don't have Joker. Joker will be in the top 100.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, he will be.
Luka.
They don't have Karl. Do they have? Yeah, they have Karl Malone in the top 75. I was going to say, if they didn't have Karl Malone, you got to put Karl Malone in there. So, hell, you got your boy. Because you can't tell me.
You can't even tell me about off the court. Because if it's off the court, Karl Malone's more egregious than everybody.
Yep.
If you talking about
played 13 NBA seasons, the number of age that he played with girls. Whoops, did I say that out loud?
You did, but it's
true.
It's true.
Right. Parental advisory is in effect, people. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. If you don't like it,
I'm just saying. Dwight should have been in there. That's all I'm saying.
And don't infect the show with negativity.
Fair enough. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
We need to get the New Day up in here. Bring some positivity to the show. Let's go, New Day. Let's go. Let's get the New Day in here. 7.
Hold on. Are we talking old New Day or new Day?
It's got to be old.
New Day. Yeah.
It's got to
be the old New Day.
It's got to be old. It's got to be old Day. It's got to be old school.
Biggie in those hips in here, man.
Yeah. It's got to be old. It's got to be old school New Day. It's got to be old school New Day.
Clap for your favorite Sports Report podcast and feel the power.
There you go. Who the hell is this dude?
I don't know.
That's on Twitch. You're gonna have to get that from Twitch.
I'm gonna get him.
Tap that.
All right, let's go ahead and move over to our baseball portion of the show.
Yeah.
7, what you got, bro?
Well, my one of my favorite baseball players, currently playing for the LA Dodgers, as the Dodgers and the Cubs had their 2-game series over in Japan, which the Dodgers swept, of course. And we actually saw Mookie Betts scratched from both of those games, and we found out that he's actually been dealing with a sickness since before the series started and had lost quite a bit of weight, unfortunately. But Erica, there was Mookie gave us an update today. What'd you find out?
Yeah, he gave an update saying that doctors can't figure out what's wrong with him, but he's just now been able to start holding food back down, and he was able to do some practicing today. So, positive update.
Reports according on ESPN state that he is leaning towards the opening with the Dodgers
on Thursday.
Yep, says that as of earlier today, he's been dealing with an illness that has prevented him from keeping solid foods down and prompted him to shed 18 pounds. Betts went through a full workout at Dodger Stadium on Monday, is expected to play in the team's final exhibition game at Angel Stadium on Tuesday. When asked if Betts will play in the Dodgers stateside opener on Thursday, manager Dave Roberts said he thinks so. So
yeah,
I love how Ando is Erica too, guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I'm piggybacking off of Erica, guys. My bad.
I'm just messing with you, Ando. I couldn't help it.
Ando, I don't want to see bra shots anymore. I don't want to see.
You won't.
Real quick, guys.
I'll start wearing t-shirts instead of tank tops.
Thank you.
Real quick, guys.
Balls.
Bulls beating the Nuggets. 6:08 left. 112 to 103.
There you go. Boy,
this thing happened here.
We're helping the Lakers. We're helping the Lakers.
We are helping the Lakers.
We felt bad after spanking their ass that we're going to.
Yes, we're going to give them help.
We're going to make them. We're going to make them eat the Nuggets.
Let's see. There was, for those of you that did not see it, if you go to the Wire to Wire Facebook page or the Sports Report page, along with the YouTube channels, respectively, the first episode of Podcast Name Deferred aired today.
Great show, by the way.
It was a lot of fun, and I fell back into it a little easier than I thought I would. And Craig and I are excited to get going. I think we're going to have Erica and John on this week, diving into their new segments that I still have to make intros for, and getting going this week. We had one of our supporters from the original podcast, Winter Meetings, this week, and she talked about the experience because she's been a lifelong A's fan, which is something I didn't think existed. And she talked about her experience of being at the final game in Oakland Coliseum last year, her thoughts on how the whole relationship with the athletics organization in the city of Oakland broke down. It's a great show to watch, so please definitely take some time to watch it. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate the support. We'll be doing episodes every Monday, 10:30 Eastern on the Wire to Wire pages as well as the Sports Report pages. Opening day is Thursday, guys.
Who's excited?
I'm actually, there is one thing, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there is one thing I'm excited for, and that is that Joe Buck is calling a baseball game.
Yep.
The first time in like 5 years on Thursday, opening day.
Yep.
Do we know which game he does it now when this is the last year that ESPN's going to have baseball games?
Yeah.
Do we know what game he's going to be calling? Is it going to be that Milwaukee, New York game?
Yeah. He's calling the Yankees.
I am excited for this Thursday.
Or is he calling Detroit and LA?
No, he's not calling Detroit and LA.
Okay.
I ain't excited for this Thursday because I ain't got a team.
Yes, you do.
Okay,
this
is perfect. You can be a Dodgers fan. We'll accept you.
I ain't got no team.
Well, you can be. Well, you're a Mets fan.
Damn Mets. They ain't winning nothing with that mentality and thought process from the front office.
Look
who they're building behind. Look who they're building with.
Well,
come on, man.
Well, look at it like being a Saints fan, okay? You'll be great for half the season, right? And then you'll you don't even know
what half of the season they're gonna be great.
Oh wait, that's right. You're a Saints fan, so you
don't even know what half of the season they're gonna be great. It could be before the All-Star break.
You're already out of it.
It could be before the All-Star break, or it could be after the All-Star break. We don't know.
I gotta say,
I'm tired of him, man. They're gonna make me do my boy John and go doing the Braves.
Here's the thing. Because of what we've seen the Yankees go through recently, the Mets actually have the chance to be the better team in New York this year.
I agree with that much.
The Yankees are going to struggle. Garrett Cole is out for the season. They just lost Clark Schmidt. He's probably going on the 60-day. He probably won't be back until May at the earliest. Giancarlo Stanton is down. So, yeah, you've still got the fact that you picked up Bellinger and the fact that you picked up Paul Goldschmidt, but two of the better pitchers in your rotation are going down. With the ones that are left are all older. Are you going to really want to rely for an entire fucking season on Max Fried?
Hell no. No.
You actually
and I got another thing too. Like, just being honest, Love Belly played for the Dodgers for a long fucking time. He is still not 100% reliable. So you guys are putting faith in somebody that is still not reliable and back to the status of what he was. I do not think Bellinger will ever be back to the potential of like what he was sitting at the Dodgers. And that's really unfortunate because he really could do so much better. But like I don't know. I kind of feel like it's just a waste.
There are so many question marks around Bellinger. And Kyle, who do I think takes MLB coverage from ESPN? Actually, I think it's what's going to happen is we're going to see TNT and TBS pick up baseball
majority of games. I think Apple TV will pick up a lot as well.
Me too.
Apple TV's got Friday Night Baseball. Yeah. Or Friday. They have a Friday game every week on Apple TV. I think the Apple TV picks up more games. I also think that we're going to see Amazon Prime pick up some baseball games. Amazon Prime is buying into the sports market.
They are.
I'm not surprised by this in the slightest. So I would not be surprised to see Amazon Prime shape up and grab some of that baseball money. And
sweet baseball money.
Yep. I think that they would probably do something in the way of throwing enough money at Joe Buck that he calls baseball games sometimes. I'm not saying he's going to be a regular announcer for
he need to be like Jim Ross every once in a while.
Yeah, you'll see Joe Buck like twice a month before football season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then maybe a playoff game depending on how football's going. Mm-hmm. Depending on what's going on there, what day of the week the game's going to be, that sort of thing. Then maybe we see him in a playoff game. But I think that we see Amazon. I think is going to throw some money at it. I think they already have, and that's why because the league isn't panicking about the fact that they're losing ESPN's coverage. Now, don't get me wrong, ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball has been shit for a while.
Listen. As long as they ain't going to NBC, I'm cool.
No, I think we'll see NBA go to,
and that's one of the reasons.
I hate NBC. I hate NBC sports coverage. I can't stand.
Whoa! NBA on NBC used to be legit, man. Come on.
Yeah, then
Bob Costas, Jim Gray. Let's go.
Back in the day,
Amon Rashad.
Back in the day, but not now. Back in the day, it was really good. But I
gotta say, though, I'm gonna argue with you guys. I love the NFL on NBC. Like the Sunday. Okay, let me rephrase that. I love the coverage of the pregame. Like with Maria Taylor, Jason Garrett, that crew I absolutely like. They need to find a new play-by-play. I would be
happy to get rid of Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah.
There is less energy in that broadcast from the pregame through the full game. There is less energy in that broadcast than Helen Keller and Amaze.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. I'm going to argue,
Chris Collinsworth, he drives the air out the room.
Hold on, let me rephrase this. I like Football Night in America, like the pregame show where they go over all the games.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
It's dry to me. Like I don't feel any fucking energy with it. I'm not saying it's got to be Pat McAfee, but I don't feel the energy in that.
I would be all right with Pat McAfee going to NBC.
I just want to see Chris Collinsworth gone. That's all.
Yeah, Chris Collinsworth. Like if it were, dude, I gotta tell you, man, when it was Al Michaels and John Madden calling like the first 3 or 4 seasons of the renewed NFL on NBC, those were like the best times, man.
Yeah,
because Al and John could banter with each other. And again, I'm one of those kids. Pat Summerall and John Madden will always be my go-to football.
That's your go-to. People. Yeah, that's like the King and Jim Ross. You go to.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you? But okay. So here's the question though: if you pull out Chris Collinsworth, we're going to get back to baseball in a minute. Yeah. But if you pull Chris Collinsworth out of the Sunday Night Football on NBC. Who do you put in his place?
Do you want my honest answer?
You can get home and decline to be better.
I enjoy when Jason Garrett calls games with Al Michaels.
Jason Garrett's one of my problems with the morning with the pregame.
He's boring too, though.
But Jason doesn't sit there and treat you like you're dumb when you watch football. Jason believes that people watching football have some form of knowledge. It's not like he just took it here and then made this play. And he's one of those guys that kind of, here's what he did. This guy made the tackle here. That's all. I like it. I like Jason Garrett.
I need to go back and maybe find one of him where he's actually calling a game to be reminded, because I don't hate the way that he sees the game. I don't hate the things that he says. It's just his delivery to me. I have a really hard time with it. I don't know if it's maybe just because of my ADHD, and I will take full ownership on that being what it is. Yeah. But I have such a hard time connecting with his delivery. He is so damn
boring and dry.
Who would you put in the broadcast?
That's some dry chicken.
Who would you put in the broadcast?
What's his? I can't remember his name to save my life.
I know who I would put in there.
Who would you put in?
Greg Olson.
I was about to mention him.
Greg Olson got
that one moved over. That's true by Tom Brady. Yeah,
that's how he deserves that. He deserves that. Out of all of the guys that are going right now, because you can't trust Romo with that, because you can't guarantee he's going to stay sober all day Sunday. So,
you can't guarantee. You can't guarantee he ain't go. You can't guarantee he ain't gonna say the N word.
Or Kevin Harlan.
All on TV. Kevin Harlan.
I like Kevin Harlan.
I think
Kevin Harlan has to be your
play.
Kevin Harlan has to be your play-by-play. So he would take the spot of Al Michaels.
Yeah,
Al Michaels, right.
So okay. So what about Gronk? Do you think?
No,
he's not ready.
He's not ready. He is not ready. No. I don't
hate how he's developing as an analyst.
He's the college frat dude of analysts.
He's a little too Pat McAfee still. Now you give him 5 years,
and when he talks, to me, analyst has to be somewhat professional in the way they talk. Not only in the way they talk, not only in the way they talk, but in the way they look as well. Yeah. And when you look at him, and his facial expression when he talks. Yeah, he's like the biggest frat guy in the world. I just can't see it.
Oh, Al, are you talking to me? I didn't know you were talking to me, man. I didn't know that it was my time to talk. Let's get it going now.
He'll get mad like Shaq did. He's supposed to go 1, 2, 3, not 1 back to 2 back to 1. Man, forget that dude, man.
Yeah,
okay. Still is better than Gus Johnson. Still is way better than Gus
anybody's
Johnson.
better than Gus Johnson. Go get Greg Olson. Go get Greg Olson.
Yeah, I think Greg Olson. Greg Olson deserves that.
That would be great. That'd be
fantastic.
What
about Cam Newton?
Who?
Cam Newton?
Stop.
He'll be revolted against so fast it ain't freaking funny. Between what he says on his show and the way that he dresses, they'll revolt against him.
He'll be better than Angel Reese.
Hold on. Hold on.
But they will vote against Cam Newton. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I like Cam Newton personally because he keep it real. But the problem
is, you
just
hit me with the Donkey Noise 7?
Yeah, he did. But the problem with
the one that I want.
But the problem with Cam Newton is he gonna keep things a little too real and say something out of pocket, and we can't have that.
I like Michael. So after watching Speak with Joy Taylor, Paul Pierce, and Michael Irvin, I think Michael Irvin, I think would be kind of. I think Michael Irvin would be good. You don't think so?
Won't. No, he won't. No, he won't.
Okay.
No, he won't.
Irvin in the booth.
All right.
And don't let him call on Cowboys games. Oh hell no. Hell no. You can't put Joy Taylor up there either, because the minute you put Joy Taylor up there, you know who's gonna come out the woodwork. You know who's gonna come out the woodwork.
Jason Whitlock.
That peanut butter skin.
Yep. I thought
I have to say that the worst part of that lawsuit against Fox Sports is the fact that Joy Taylor had to put her titties away.
Yeah.
Like that's
horrible, man.
You see how she dressed now. You see how she dresses now.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still fantasize.
I've got enough mental images. I know what's there. Like,
She got enough pictures on her Instagram, but
well,
she keeps most of that stuff now. That peanut butter skin.
Putting a car cover on a Ferrari. Just
peanut butter skin.
Cocoa butter, baby.
Back to
okay. Real quick before you go, I just got to notice Bulls 129, Denver 119. We won.
There you go.
Yes. 2 in a row against the top 3 teams in the West.
2 in a row, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Finish the season on a high note. Finish the season on a high note. Let's get in the playoffs, baby. Let's get in the playoffs, baby. What's up, Mo?
What's up, Mo?
What's going on, man?
Okay, back on baseball. Spring training updates. Dodgers are up on the Angels right now, 4-2. Guardians are over the D-backs 4-0, and the Giants are sitting on top of the Tigers 4-2. There has been a lot of discussion. I just want to close with this. I want to get your guys' input. We kind of talked about this on the podcast named Deferred last time. Let's see what you guys think. I think that the reason that we are in a position where we have to talk about robot umps and the discussion behind it I think it comes back to the fact that fuck Rob Manfred. The issue with umpiring games and inconsistencies has been a problem for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Manfred has been spineless in his failure to action. And I think that the only reason that we are at this point is because of the fact that Rob Manfred failed to act sooner. You guys agree?
I agree.
I agree.
And I think and like I said, I personally think it's a terrible idea because to me, you have a certain human factor in sport.
Right.
And once you take out that human factor, it's not the same.
Nope.
Hold on, but I mean, I think there are certain spots where it is reasonable to look at the human factor because, like, we already do kind of take the human factor out of the game with the replays. And every sport has it. Hockey has replays. Baseball has replays.
True.
Everybody has them. So we are in a position where we should be reasonable with how we implement technology in sports. But the reason that we are even at the point where we're considering this is because that alien looking motherfucker,
Skip Bayless' twin brother,
couldn't get his head out of his ass long enough to work with the umpires union. They could have done this shit quietly and just solved the problem. Didn't need to involve the fans or the press. Just get everybody together and go, what the fuck do we need to do? Okay, let's do that. Stop fucking up. That's all it's taking. Commissioner for a day and fix fucking baseball. Just that. And everybody shuts the fuck up about it. But no. Fuck Rob Manfred.
Fuck him.
Listen, I got another thing to say about him. Fuck him
and his
Trevor
mom.
Bauer, because that's a whole ass other situation that I do think that we need to discuss too a little bit, Seven.
Where it is, I mean, we beat that horse.
No, I mean, I'm talking about like the situation with Urias more specifically than like Bauer.
Yes.
But like how
Luis
it's
Urias.
like it's a double side. Like I understand, I get it, but I do think we should talk about it.
And he's not on anybody's roster right now.
No.
So
we're talking about Puig?
No.
So well, I mean, it kind of in the same because Puig is trying to be allowed back into baseball right now, despite the fact that he was doing what Urias is doing right now, and Puig's not going to get allowed back into baseball.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done, and Urias is too because he's not even on a team. He's suspended through the break. If somebody wanted him, he would already be signed.
Right.
There's not going to be a bidding war for Urias. And when we think about Luis Urias, who plays for the Giants, used to play for the Red Sox, the infielder, hopefully that dude stops getting bothered as much because Urias is out of the fucking league. And they just happen to have the same fucking name. It's just said differently.
Right.
He should have been. It's hard to say he shouldn't have been allowed back after the first issue because everybody deserves a second chance.
Of course.
I don't think in that situation you deserve a second chance because of the platform that you're sitting on. You're sitting on that platform. Yes, you're playing a sport that you love, but you also have children that are watching you. And when there's proof that you're doing the things that he's been doing, you don't get. I'm sorry, you should get a second chance.
But here's the thing: the
Bauer
reason that I get what you're saying.
But Bauer should have.
As somebody who grew up in a home where domestic violence was a problem, and I could completely kill the vibe telling stories of shit that I remember from my childhood. The reason why I believe the second chance has to exist is, first of all, because if it doesn't exist, then we are using that as setting an example that you cannot recover from failure. Number two, these situations with domestic violence always 100% of the time come back to mental health issues.
Agreed there.
And when we are and with the importance of men's mental health that sports has and the impact on that, if we don't give these guys a second chance, we are setting a you're not allowed to fail example to men when it comes to mental health, because it does trickle down just the way that a bunch of models all parading around as size -0 sets a body image for women.
Yep.
I mean, and I won't disagree. I mean, I get from that aspect. But if you're not willing to accept that you have the problem,
right?
Like, again, you should be able to sit back, set that example for children that are watching you, and take the stand to get yourself the help that you need, whether it is the mental health or it's the fact of this is what your learned environment showed you and you don't know any different. There's ways to go about it to get the help. So there's not an excuse to me. There should have never been a second chance for him to have done this to his girlfriend. Not at all. None whatsoever.
There's so many things wrong with the situation. And that's the truth of the matter. From the fact that it happened again to the fact that it's the same woman. And we can get into the mental health dynamics behind that again with the domestic violence situation. You and I have extensive experience with these situations. But there were so many things that should have happened before things got to the point that they're at now with this individual.
100%.
And as much as and I hate to say this, but I do believe that the Dodgers organization is partially to blame. I'm not going to say that they forced him to cause harm to that, but and it's hard for me to say that because of the fact that for the last 7 years, the Dodgers organization has renewed the contract of a player that had to stop because of severe mental health issues to make sure that he had medical insurance to get.
I remember you saying that. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Did it again this year. This is something that they do every year, and I respect the hell out of the Dodgers organization for it.
And the Dodgers have said they will do this every year for this man until he has passed away.
So I respect the hell what the Dodgers organization has done in that regard. But I do believe that the Dodgers organization had to have had time to intervene before something happened, or they were just blatantly turning a blind eye to the situation and completely ignoring what was going on until it was too late.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know it's totally different situation, but I mean, like, look at how they treated Bauer. As soon as all this happened, they just wall went up. So, I mean, how can you not sit and think that they didn't do the same thing with this situation? I mean, this is the second time. Come on now. He's beating her ass behind closed doors. We know that. It's obvious. You're beating her ass behind closed doors.
No, you're saying it. Yeah, now hold on.
Knocking her face into a
Now hold on. For legal reasons, you have to say allegedly.
Allegedly,
I believe that he is beating her ass consistently behind closed doors.
I don't know about it coming on this show. So he said this, she said that. Allegedly.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't know the right way to say it.
Allegedly, damn it. You're trying to keep this show going.
Allegedly, I said
allegedly,
it.
damn it.
Sue me for everything I have is right here. Let's go.
Wait, if we keep saying allegedly, are we going to get on the show?
Okay, I got a quarter. I got a quarter. You get the quarter, good.
I got a 20 somewhere.
Oh, long, Lakers out in 5.
Okay.
Ando got some lit.
But yeah, man, the Dodgers organization needs to figure some stuff out.
They do.
And that's the unfortunate.
They do. But anyway, I got a question for y'all. Hold
on, before you ask that question, Will, I will say the Dodgers did figure some stuff out, right? They have the highest payroll in baseball. They're winning MLB championships, and they're not paying players until 2046.
Well, hell,
so they figured something out. Well,
in terms of payroll, the Mets right behind them, and they ain't gonna win shit.
Yeah, but the Mets are paying people up front.
They ain't gonna win shit.
Not the
They ain't gonna win nothing.
Well, they're paying people now.
That sounds like
the Dodgers.
That sounds like jealousy.
I'm just saying. The Mets they got one of the highest payroll. I bet you top 5 in terms of payroll.
It is.
I bet you.
Well,
when you go back and look at it, when you got that money invested, we ain't winning shit.
Well, at least your team is paying people. The Mariners ain't paid nobody since 1969. Oh,
They
wait, that was the year that
ain't paid nobody since King Griffey Jr.
Exactly. And they didn't even pay Ken Griffey Jr. what he deserved, man.
Yeah,
They
Griffey
undercut
and
they undercut him too.
They deserve.
You're right. They undercut him too.
No.
I mean, thank God we got rid of A-Rod because A-Rod wanted $200 million and the Texas Rangers were willing to pay for it. And then after we get rid of A-Rod,
his name is Aroyd. Address him by his proper
sorry, Aroyd. And then what really happened with the Mariners is we won 116 games and for whatever fucking reason can't get over the Yankees. Nope. We should have won the World Series that year. I'm just saying. Because we would have beaten the Diamondbacks.
So okay. So you guys are saying, this is my question. I don't have a team right now.
Dodgers. Or not.
You do. You just don't want to. You just don't want to support them.
Look, even Seven said it. Come to the Dodgers with me.
Hold on.
Just
wait.
Pick the Reds. Pick the Reds.
I'm not doing that.
Pick the Reds. Just pick the most outlandish team.
Don't pick the Reds. I mean, pick the Royals. The Royals are gonna have a great.
Yeah, go with the Royals. Go with the Royals. We're the only one with a crown.
I need a new team.
Royals this year.
I need a new team. I need a brand new team. Seven says the Braves. Erica says the Dodgers.
Listen, since we're gonna be like, married and everything, we gotta be a.
We do have to be a couple who agrees on things. This is true. This is true. What's up, Gene?
I just solidified your reason.
My wife's a D-backs fan, and I'm a Red Sox fan. We don't agree on shit. No, don't try.
I'm sorry.
Devil vagina magic away while he's picking a baseball team, woman.
What is a relationship, and how does that affect me picking my team?
Okay, so when this is when your hand wants to go one direction. Okay. This is when your hand wants to go one direction, and you're trying to go.
I'm familiar with that motion.
All right.
Okay.
All right. The hand's trying to go like this, and you're trying to go like this, like you're like it's but not as fun.
Okay.
But no. Put the devil vagina magic away while he's picking a baseball team. The Dodgers are not the right choice.
Don't pick the Astros either.
Just dive fully into the Braves.
The Astros are hell no. I ain't going to Astros.
Hold on. I haven't even brought out the devil's vagina tonight. I have the red hair hidden tonight. What are you talking about?
I said devil vagina magic.
Look at Will. Look at Will.
I gotta get a good look at this. Hold up now.
Yo, I gotta say though,
I gotta get a good look. Hold on.
Gene's right. The Phillies have the best mascot.
Yeah.
Oh, Gene said I gotta go. Gene said I gotta go with the Phillies. Gene said I gotta go with the Phillies.
I love the Phillies mascot, and there is some serious talent on that team this year.
Yeah.
If I put the Dodgers, if I put the Dodgers, I'm a front runner. Ooh.
Hey, you know what, Gene? What's my house saying?
Ain't nobody never accused me of being a front runner.
Lazy ass.
The Phillies will make you feel a real. That's the thing is the only thing the Phillies will make you fear is afraid that your car is going to get caught up in the riot after the game.
Phillies
make you feel their mascot is fantastic.
Wait, is that after the win or the loss? Because I can never tell.
It depends on the day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just when everybody's in the mood. I mean,
we got to get Kyle on the show and have him talk about the Phillies because
you'll get him back on.
Oh yeah,
he'll get back on. The Phillies seem like that one fan base in Philadelphia where it's just like, we got another loss. It's okay. We'll just burn down this section of the city.
When I make a decision, I'll do it before the start of the regular season.
You got 3 days. Well,
I got 3 days.
Baseball starts on Thursday.
Yep, I'll put it on my Facebook page who I'm going with. But I'm done. My sister's gonna be mad. My baby sister's gonna be mad at me. But I'm done with the Mets. I'm done.
There's so much with the Braves, and it starts with Spencer Strider. There's a decent rotation building in he doesn't live here. His car is safe. If he goes to a game, Gene, find anything where we burn down.
I didn't know Seth freaking Rollins was in town.
Oh,
no.
Hey, shout out to Becky. Shout out to his wife, Becky Lynch. Though, shout out to Becky Lynch.
What happened to Becky?
He didn't come back.
Hey, speaking of wrestling, Taker's 60th birthday today.
Yep, he's 60.
Yes, it is.
He just turned 60. Booker T 2 weeks ago turned 60. So congrats to both of them.
Oh, I didn't see Booker T's man. You know,
Booker T, the
actually,
5-time.
is it just me, or when Reverend Jameis gets going, doesn't he seem like a Christian Booker T?
He does.
When he gets going with those speeches, like
He reminds me more. He reminds me more of a Christian Michael. He reminds me more of Michael Irvin than Booker.
Yeah.
Hey, so I just read a update on one of my little Dodger pages. I guess apparently Ohtani's last at bat, he grabbed his shoulder.
Uh-oh.
He hasn't even thrown in 32 days.
No, they just had him throwing the other day. What are you talking about?
Because I was.
He was just throwing. He was just throwing to throw. He wasn't actually pitching. He was just.
I'm saying from the mound. He hasn't done anything from the mound in 32 days.
Yeah, no.
People swear the Philly fan base is crazy. We aren't crazy.
And he's grabbing himself. Great. That's great.
People
it depends on what part of his body he's grabbing. When I hear grabbing yourself, I usually think of below the belt, which that could be a problem too. But
I mean, Asians really grab down there. They tend to miss.
Let me go back to the PG stuff. Y'all trying to get us thrown off FCC airways. Then what about the PG stuff? People swear the Philly fan base is crazy. We aren't crazy. We are passionate.
It's honestly out of all of the Philadelphia fan bases, the Phillies fans seem to be the most sober of the three.
Them and the Flyers. The Flyers always seem to be
because you really don't hear shit about Flyers fans, and hockey has a lot more fighting than baseball.
You don't. Yeah. You don't hear nothing about that.
No, maybe that's why. Maybe we need to include fighting in all sports, and then all Philly fans would be perfectly fine.
I will tell
greatest hockey game of all great. You know what? Because of the fighting, greatest hockey game of all time, Blaze of Steel.
Dude, I'm sorry.
That's because of the fighting. That's because of the fighting.
I'm going to go real life on this one. The rivalry between the Red Wings and the Avalanches in the 90s.
Oh, those are good too.
Those are some really good ones.
One of my all-time favorite moments in baseball was watching Jose Bautista get knocked the fuck out.
I remember that. My favorite time in basketball when Robert Parrish picked up Bill Lambier's sorry ass and slammed him on the court. That was amazing. And the thing about Robert Parrish, you don't hear that Robert Parrish from anybody. Got a bad bone in his body from nobody. What about
the time Larry Bird chucked the ball at Bill Lambier? Look, I was just trying to get the ball to the ref. He just got in my way.
He just got my way. That's all that is. He just got my way. That's all.
7. I don't know if you said it earlier, but that basketball coach got fired.
Okay. Yeah, if I didn't, he did. Yeah, pretty.
The video.
He deserved to get fired.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not I normally don't do this on the show, but I'm scrolling through Facebook and I just saw the video.
He deserved to get fired.
Yeah.
For what he did. That's a bonehead. That was a bonehead move.
I'll see if I can get the video on the sports page.
Well, from looking at it from this angle, it looks like she didn't even provoke it. He just went up and fucking pulled on her hair.
Yeah. And the people that were there that were right there said she was swearing at him. So she was angry. She was swearing.
That's a little girl.
That's a little girl. In that situation, you have to control
That's a little girl. You're a grown ass man. Come on now.
It's not okay.
It's not right at all. He deserved to be fired for that.
He grabs the fuck out of the back of her head. Look at that.
As the adult in that situation, you need to find a different way to handle that situation.
Yeah. What a dad at? That's what I want to know.
Even as the coach, if you have to step away from it,
what a girl dad at? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like just as a parent in general, if
he would have got his ass whooped that day.
I would have been hopping out of the stands.
If that was my daughter, he would have got his ass whooped right then.
I think all of us agree we would be sitting in jail.
Hell
right now.
No.
Felony waiting to happen.
You taking me to jail that day?
Insurance license.
You taking me to jail that day?
My blood.
I'd be damned if you touched my little girl.
Video. Yeah. Like I would have been jumping over the fucking stands, and I would have been like, "Who the fuck do you think you are to touch my goddamn kid's head like that? You look like Mr. Clean, bitch. Sit the fuck down. Don't grab my kid's head."
Yeah, what? Ain't nobody gonna put up with that.
No,
ain't nobody gonna put up with that.
Crazy.
That's uncalled for. It's uncalled for, unprofessional.
And I know more
that's a
mature,
freak.
but you're
That's a
immature for
freaking.
pulling her hair.
That's a freaking child. That's a freaking child. And as a coach, you're in a mentor position. You let that little girl down.
As an adult, like I said, as an adult, you need to handle that situation better.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with you taking a step away from the situation, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, having her sit down.
I'm talking as the adult. Like if she's cussing me out, and I know, because I know how I can get, like, because I'm going to get in your face, I'm going to say something, or you know what? Cool. Say what you want to say. I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to take a step and walk away, catch my breath, keep myself cool and centered.
Because that's the adult thing to fucking do.
Yeah, exactly.
And also from that angle too, I mean, like, it's like she's sitting there like crying and stuff. So I mean, literally, obviously, we can all sit here and say this is what we would do in that situation, 100%. But like, seriously, like in that situation, just my opinion, the better thing that this dude should have done was been like, hey, you're really worked up. You're crying. Let's just chill. Let's take a step back. You'll go back in once you chill. Let's chill. Like, I understand you're worked up. You're upset. You got emotion. Awesome. Love it. But let's just chill. Let's vibe. Like, let's vibe again. Let's just be cool and get back in this game. Get your head right.
That was at the end in the handshake line after they lost the game.
Yep. All right, you guys. We got to pay some bills, and then we're gonna get on out of here. Continue to hang out with us. We'll be right back here on the Sports Report on Water Network.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
National Streaming Sports is brought to you in part by BetUs.com, designed for true fans. NFL odds, Week 1 and futures, college football odds, including Heisman Trophy favorites and playoff odds, NBA odds of division winners and playoffs, Major League Baseball playoff and World Series odds, the National Hockey League Conference playoffs and Stanley Cup odds, and boxing wagers. Betting opportunities include versus the spreads and outright winners, also during the game. Use our link on our website, nessp.info, the Bet Us Opportunities webpage, for a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Must be 21 years old, and remember, bet responsibly.
All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this puppy up. Anybody got anything they want to add before we get out of here for tonight?
God is great. Beer is good. And fuck Rob Manfred. No, for real though. Angels did put a run in the bottom of the 9th. Actually, they put 2 in the bottom of the 9th. Soler hit a homer to right center.
Oh, nice.
And then Marchand grounded out to shortstop. Robinson scored. The game did end on a 4-4 tie. Dodgers and Angels tied.
That's the weirdest part about spring training to me. Like, I get why there's no like extra innings.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like seeing a tie in baseball just makes me go, no, that's
well, because I know the Mariners and the Padres tied at 7 today too. So yeah, I will take a tie over a loss.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. All right, guys. I want to say thank you for everybody in the chat to come up tonight here on Water Network. We do appreciate you guys. And we will see you all again next Monday. I will see you guys this Wednesday on Coffee and Sports in the morning.
Ooh, do you need me to join up?
I may need you.
Cool. I will make sure to set an alarm.
All right. I'll let you know. All right. And if there's nothing else, I want to say thank you to everybody in Wire Sports. I do appreciate you coming out tonight. I want to thank you to the panel. Appreciate you guys running through. And we'll see y'all again next week. Y'all take care.
Okay, bye. Why is it so quiet?
Shout out to Robert for jumping in on my space.
Well, your girl said that she could get any man, the one that sued Lyft because they wouldn't give her a ride. She said she could steal any girl's man, and now I'm worried about getting kidnapped.